Zeus, and welcome back to Reading Club. So today I'm going to read you Daisy and the Trouble with Zeus, Chapter 15 and Chapter 16. Chapter 15. At first I thought there were alive fish in the bucket, but there weren't. They were all dead and silver with red eyes. That's just how penguins like them. When I picked the first fish up, it felt a bit cold and slippery. I only picked it up by its tail, just in case it was still alive. Plus, I didn't know what it would feel like. The trouble with dead fish is they feel a bit strange at first, even if you only pick them up by the tail. The trouble with picking a dead fish up by the tail is it makes it quite hard to throw. My first fish didn't go anywhere near where I meant it to, but a penguin still got it anyway. In fact, 3 penguins zoomed right after it, but only one managed to get it. Everyone in the crowd cheered when the fish got gobbled. So next time, I threw 2 fish at once. You should have seen the penguins then. I never knew they could swim so fast. The fish were only in the water for about a second before both of them had been gobbled up. Then I threw 3 fish at once, and they got gobbled up really quickly too. After about 5 throws, I was putting my fingers right into the bucket, right round the dead fish and everything, without them feeling cold or slippery at all. I had really got the hang of throwing, and I was making the penguins zoom absolutely everywhere. The penguins must have been really hungry because the more I threw, the more they dived and zoomed. One penguin even got out of the pool to try and steal a fish out of my bucket. Everyone laughed, and Tiffany had to shoo him straight back into the pool. It was so brilliant. Everyone was cheering and clapping, and there were bubbles coming out of the water, and splashes and really fast beaks zooming everywhere. Plus, I was a really good thrower, just like I said I would be. When I did my second best throw, I went right across into the corner of the penguin pool. But my best throw was so good, it went right over the pool, through the air, and hit the glass on the other side, where Mom, Gabby, and Dylan was sitting. Everyone really laughed and clapped then. Gabby and Dylan thought it was hilarious. My mom tried to take a picture, but she missed it. That's the trouble with moms taking good pictures. They're a bit slow. So then I tried to throw a fish right out of the zoo, but I only had 3 fish left in my bucket, and they were really slippery ones. Plus, one didn't have a head, so they only went as far as the middle. But Mom still took a picture, and everyone still clapped, and the penguins kept diving and zooming around. Then my bucket ran out. The trouble with buckets running out is you don't have any fish left to throw, which isn't very good because the penguins still looked really hungry. So I threw the bucket into the penguin pool too. I didn't actually mean to throw the bucket in. It just sort of came out of my hands. I wasn't trying to throw it in on purpose or anything. I just thought there might be some fish juice left in the bottom and the penguins might like to lick it out. Penguins love fish juice. The trouble with the zoo buckets is that they sink because they're metal. Plus, if they land on a penguin, they can give it a really big bump on the head. Luckily, all the penguins dived out of the way, but the zoo bucket sank right to the bottom of the water. At first, everyone laughed and cheered, except my mom. Mom covered her eyes and went red, but most people thought it was funny. Gabby and Dylan thought it was hilarious. I'm not sure if Tiffany did, though. She sort of smiled and sort of frowned at the same time. And then she had to go and get a long zoo net. The trouble with zoo nets is they're not very good at picking up buckets, which meant Tiffany had to spend quite a long time trying to get the bucket out. I asked her if she wanted me to have a go, but she said it would be better if I left it to her. So I did. It would definitely have been better if she had let me have a go with the net because I'm really expert at that too. In Cornwall, when I was on holiday, Mom bought me a net. When I put it in the rock pool, I caught loads of sand. 2 shells and a lolly stick on my very first go. I nearly caught some weed too, but it escaped when I lifted the net up. Tiffany took loads of goes before she even caught anything. By the time she'd put the bucket back in the penguin cupboard and taken me back to Mom, Dylan, and Gabby, most of the people behind the glass had gone. Mom said the elephants were being fed at 2:30 and everyone had probably gone to see them. Plus, she said sorry to Tiffany. Tiffany said it was okay and she hoped I had a good time. I said I'd had a really good time. Tiffany said I was so good at throwing fish, I'd be after her job one day. Then she asked me if I would like her job one day. I said yes, but actually I fibbed because I wouldn't want to do a job with a brown shirt. I wouldn't mind the badge though, except I think I'd want a growling lion on my badge, not a paw print. Then we waved goodbye to the penguins. Chapter 16. On the way back from the penguin house, Gabby couldn't stop giggling. Dylan thought it was really funny too. What if you'd hit a penguin on the head? Laughed Dylan. What if a penguin had thought the bucket was a fish and swallowed it? Laughed Gabby. That's the trouble with Gabby. She might have had Wellingtons on, but she's not the slightest bit expert about penguins. Then Mom asked us where we'd like to go next. So I said, home. Home, said Mom. Surely you don't want to go home yet. We haven't seen the crocodiles or the tigers or the vultures or the mongooses. So I told her I was really tired. You're not worried about the bucket, are you, Daisy? She said. You really shouldn't be worried about the bucket. So I told her that the trouble with doing really good throws is it can really make your arms ache, and that I really wanted to go home. Really? She said. Really, really, I said. But we haven't even seen the giraffes yet, said Mom. We must go and see the giraffes. Yes, we have seen the giraffes, I said. They were over on the other side of the rhinoceros pit. Well, we haven't seen the giraffes. Close up, said Mom. My mom really likes giraffes. I said we didn't need to see a giraffe close up because they're so tall. You can see a giraffe from anywhere. So Mom sighed and then asked Gabby and Dylan what they wanted to do. Gabby said she wanted to go to the play area, and Dylan said, are there any rhinoceros beetles? Which was a real nuisance because I really wanted to go home. Mom said if there were any rhinoceros beetles, they were probably in the reptile house. But Dylan said rhinoceros beetles weren't reptiles. They were insects. Dylan said rhinoceros beetles are the strongest animals in the world, and they can lift things that are 850 times heavier than themselves, which is quite cool, but I really, really wanted to go home. Luckily, the zoo didn't have any rhinoceros beetles. They did have hissing cockroaches, but Dylan said they wouldn't be as good. The trouble with play areas is the zoo did have one of them. When we got there, it had slides and rope bridges and tunnels and everything. Gabby and Dylan couldn't wait to go on them, but I really, really wanted to go home. So I sat on a bench with my mom. Are you sure you're feeling all right, Daisy? Asked Mom. You love swings and slides usually. I can never get you off the swings and slides when we got to the park. I said I was feeling fine, but I really, really, really wanted to go home. Luckily, there was a puddle at the bottom of the big slide. The trouble with big slides is they make you come down so fast you can't stop yourself at the bottom. So if there's a puddle at the bottom, your bottom goes straight in it. Gabby came down first, and then Dylan. You should have seen Gabby's face. She had dirty puddle water all over her coat and all down her tights. Dylan didn't get so much on him because Gabby's bottom had already soaked a lot of the puddle up, but he still made his jeans really dirty. Mom brushed Dylan and Gabby's bottoms down with her glove and then said that actually it probably was time to go home, which made me feel really pleased. Have you had a good time? Asked Mom, apart from the muddy bottoms. Yes, we shouted. Have you had a lovely birthday, Daisy? She asked. You bet, I said. Come on then, said Mom. Let's make our way back to the car. So that's the end of this channel. I hope you liked my readings of it, and if you did, please click many likes and subscribe Reading Clap.